Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are students from University Technical Malaysia Melaka. Let me introduce myself and my group members. My name is Masita binti Mahmud. The next one is Mahfuz bin Abdul Hamid, and the third one is Muhammad Syafiq bin Maisa. We are conducting an interview session for our subject Engineering Ethics and OSHA. Our objective, we need to perform the fundamental principle of professional ethics and various behavior or conduct that need to be observed and controlled by a professional technologists in society. So today we have a professional engineer from Kidam and Hadi Sdn Bhd, which is Sir Muhammad Saiful Izwan bin Abdul Hamid. So sir, please introduce yourself.
Okay, for introduction, my name is Muhammad Syaiful Izwan bin Abdul Hamid. I'm 36 years old. I'm from Batam Junta. Now I work Nordin Kidam and Hadi Sdn Bhd, headquarters in Kota Damansara for already 10 years. Now, the company that I've worked in right now involved in the consultancy firm involved in design and supervision of civil and structural engineering work. And now I assigned at one of the sites for a government project in Port Klang.
We proceed to the first question. In your opinion, what is the difference between ethic and moral?
Okay, let's go to the moral first. Okay.
Alright.
Because moral seems to sound very basic. My definition for moral is just a principle of good or bad behavior. It's simple. It's kind of rule of conduct within a group of people or a society. People can judge or can tell if you are good. Can tell you if you are a good or a bad person or immoral person based on how you treat other people and any animal or elders and so on.
Yeah.
But let's go to the ethic definition. For ethics, it's kind of more complex, deeper, and more specific. I can say that ethics is more like a set of rules or a system that has been provided to you to obey, provided by an institution that govern or influence on how you behave. Best example of ethics. For me, in my engineering profession, as a professional engineer, I am bound to a set of rules that they call it code of professional conduct, in which it is actually a bunch of a set of rules and regulations saying that you can do this, you cannot do that. Share with you is that ethics in engineering. For engineers, it's always about integrity. On honest, you carry out your job. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, for the next question, whistleblowing, ethical or unethical? Do you have any experience handling the whistleblower?
I didn't have experience handling a whistleblower. First, let's go to the definition of whistleblowing. You expose or you disclose something like an information or something like a statement to another party other than the party that. So for me, if you become a whistleblower, if it is with a good intention, I say if you expose something in order to safeguard the interest or safety of the public. Also, I think it's kind of ethical kind of whistleblowing lah. But what normally happens in society to our engineers right now, in reality, let's say they become a whistleblower with intention for their own good. They have an intention to sabotage your former company, to disclose, to take revenge on on someone. I think that we considered as non-ethical kind of whistleblowing.
Next question. Do you have at your company how OSHA inspection are conducted?
For this OSHA inspection, they will have a procedure. They call it a walk around. They will tour every inches of the site and together with the specific checklist. They will look around every perimeter. They will cover every perimeter, identify hazard, and if you familiar with HIRAC is the checklist that will assist the safety and health officer to identify any potential hazard. And at the end of the inspection, end up writing to employer saying that this thing is need to be improved, that thing covered,
maintenance.
In writing lah, in order to eliminate all the potential hazard. You either come up with a penalty, you impose a penalty to some of the workers, that, for example, some of the workers not wearing PPEs and like that.
From your opinion, why national safety and health administration is important to a work?
The foremost always is to secure the safety, health and welfare of persons at work against risk, the safety or health arising out of the activities of person at work.
For my next question is, what are some of the responsibilities employer have related to OSHA record keeping?
I mean, Section 51, which I quote from this book, Section 51, Regulation 13. There is also a penalty for employer who fail to comply with notifying and record keeping obligation. If you are convicted, proven guilty, and you will be fined. You can be fined up to 10,000 ringgit Malaysia. You can also be in jail or for a term not exceeding 1 year, or both.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay.
We have a professional engineer, which is Encik Sir Muhammad Khairul Ikhwan. So, sir, please introduce yourself.
Assalamualaikum. Nama saya Muhammad Khairul Ikhwan. Saya sekarang bekerja sebagai service engineer di syarikat bernama Miura Boiler Malaysia selama 2 tahun. So Miura Boiler Malaysia di Malaysia hampir 7 tahun, tapi masuk di Malaysia. So dalam masa sama dia tengah membesar. Kami main produk kami adalah boiler, dan di samping itu kami juga jual produk-produk yang produk sampingan boiler, contoh seperti water softener. Water softener ni dia function dia untuk dia tapis air sebelum masuk ke boiler untuk menjaga prolong the boiler life lah. So basically saya punya kerja bila boiler yang problem, dia akan call saya, dan daripada situ saya akan communicate dengan dia orang macam mana nak solve problem tu lah.
Okay, soalan kedua. When the employer receive an OSHA citations, so what the action was needed?
Soalan ni saya tak boleh nak jawab dengan pasti sebab saya pun tak pasti, sebab kami company baru, this is 7 years dalam Malaysia. So kami tak pernah lagi handle OSHA citation, dan action apa yang kami perlu buat pun kami belum pasti lagi.
Bahagian mana dari Akta OSH yang melarang majikan melakukan diskriminasi terhadap pekerja kerana menggunakan hak keselamatan dan kesihatan mereka?
Tapi kami punya akta ini kami follow Malaysia punya OSHA yang di-develop oleh DOSH, Akta 514 tak silap saya. Dalam tu dia ada akta yang dibuat pada tahun 1994 tak silap. Dan dalam akta tu dia ada list down tentang diskriminasi yang inilah, yang contoh-contoh diskriminasi dan juga apa tindakan-tindakan dia. So kami follow akta inilah, akta 514 daripada DOSH.
Sebelum kira kita bekerja, dia akan training untuk OSHA ni.
Betul, kami diberi training dalam masa sama. Bila kami on site, contoh customer tertentu, dia orang pun akan bagi training lah yang sesuai untuk dengan dia orang sendiri ada dia orang punya law dia orang.
Cikgu, saya ada satu lagi soalan. What is a example of ethical issue that you have experienced on your workplace?
Jadi dekat kontraktor lain, di mana dia orang tak buat appointment untuk servis di kilang orang. Contoh lah, kontraktor ni dia nak datang buat servis, dia nak datang tengok produk tu, and then dia tak inform person in charge kilang tu. So dalam sama dia langgar lah, and then dari situ banyak isu tentang security dan sebagainya.
Berkenaan isu ni, apa yang tindakan dari
Tindakan dia orang bagi amaran lah pasal benda ni. Benda ni memang serius lah. Kalau jadi apa-apa dekat produk barang tu, susah juga. Person in charge yang kena, bukan kontraktor tu. So memang ini isu penting lah.
your opinion is safety on ethical issue?
Opinion bagi saya lah, etika ni dia mula-mula yang kenapa dia penting dalam satu syarikat ni, sebab menghasilkan good working environment, suasana kerja yang bagus lah.
Yang kondusif lah.
Ya, kondusif. Semua pekerja-pekerja dia motivate lah untuk bekerja dan untuk serve company tu. So kalau safety company tu dia orang tak provide, safety company tu jatuh, pekerja-pekerja tu dia orang tak semangat nak kerja. So bagi saya memang etika dan safety ni memang dalam satu aspek. Company saya memang bagus lah bab safety ni. Tambah-tambah lagi produk kami boiler kan. Boiler ni memang bahaya. So nak handle pun, nak buat servis, nak repair apa semua ni, ada kena pengalaman 5 ke 7 tahun lah baru boleh independent.
Dalam bidang boiler ni, apa yang safety yang selalu Cik Khairul implementkan?
First PPE lah, mesti helmet, glove dan pakaian yang sesuai. Dan juga prosedur kami punya company ada standard prosedur SOP yang perlu dipraktik masa bekerja. Sebelum nak buka something boiler tu, apa yang perlu kami check. Itu semua SOP tu memang kami kena follow. So dari situ memang ensure kami punya keselamatan lah, dan juga customer kami. So in case kalau jadi apa-apa, barang customer tu yang rosak ataupun worse, boleh menyebabkan kematian.
Okey, saya teruskan dengan soalan yang terakhir, untuk soalan nombor 5. Who is responsible for your health and safety at work?
Ni bagi saya lah, siapa yang responsible ni memang saya punya employer lah. Saya punya company saya memang jaga saya punya safety lah. Dia orang memang monitor, dia orang memang pastikan saya akan pakai PPE yang betul, mengikut SOP semua tu lah. Dan decision saya semua dia akan monitor lah, untuk kalau in case saya accident, saya buat apa-apa decision yang tak elok, yang boleh menyebabkan benda buruk.
Thank you to Mr. Khairul Ihwan for your sharing and your information about your company and for your ethical issues.
Sorry Encik Khairul kalau mengambil sedikit masa berharga
Maaf,
di hujung minggu ni.
Untuk maaf aku semua okey.
Oh.